propaganda,
anti-vaccine,
anti-vaxxers,
anti-vaxxers,
anti-vaxxer, anti-vaxxers,
anti-vaxxers,
anti-vaxxer,
anti-vaccine misinformation,
anti-vaxxer, anti-vax,
anti-vax,
anti-vaccine,
anti-vaxxer,
anti-vax, anti-vaccine,
anti-vax,
anti-vaxxers.
banning all anti-vaccine content. It's not going to be easy.
This is not a totalitarian state.
Senator Cruz told the Attorney General you should be prosecuted.
Yeah. I'd have to laugh at that.
Junior was, well, the day he was born, he was given to me. And I was told, you know, this is your son, you take care of him. He changed my life. He changed my life to the better. I would take him to daycare before I went to work, pick him up after work. The school activities he was involved, you know, I'd take off from work just to be there, just to show him, you know, that I loved him, because I never knew a father's love, and I said, my son will never feel that. Well, every day, I would give him a kiss, a hug, tell him I loved him. At the age of 7, he wanted to play baseball. He was one heck of a player. Everybody knew him. He came up to me one day and he said, no, Dad, he goes, I want to join the Air Force. He joined ROTC in high school also. He loved to fish, and to camp. So we're always doing outdoor activities. And he loved going to the gun range. I always taught my son gun safety. And I told him, one of these days, this world's going to go to hell, and we're going to need them to hunt, to eat, and to protect ourselves. I said, we may even have to use them to fight for our country. Little did I know this was going to happen. When all this started up, we stayed locked up when it first came out about this pandemic. I wouldn't let him outside. School he was doing online. Very seldom would we go out to eat, but we did. We wear masks like they told us, masks, sanitizer, and everything. So he was locked up for about a year. I took the Moderna, and I said, well, okay, I didn't have any side effects. And then the beginning of the year, Pfizer came out and said it was safe for teenagers. And I told him, let's go get the vaccine. They said it was safe for teenagers. And right away he said, okay, Dad. He didn't show any side effects. 5 days later, my neighbor, her son was Junior's best friend. They were like brothers. So she called me and said, hey, mister, can I take the boys out to eat and play basketball? I said, yes, ma'am, of course. That was the first time I let him go out, because I figured he had the first dose, he's okay. So I met him at the front door. I gave him some money. I gave him a hug and a kiss. I told him to be good and to behave. And I would always tell him to call me if he needed anything. I didn't know that was going to be the last time I talked to my son. Then they went to the park. She said they were running across the court. Junior just collapsed. No signs or no nothing. He was running, he just fell to the ground. Police officer there seen what happened. He ran, started doing CPR, and called the ambulance. She called me hysterical, telling me something was wrong with Junior, and I didn't believe her. So I raced over there. They were just loading him up in the ambulance. They wouldn't let me get in with him. I chased him to the hospital. They kept working on him, but then after a while they told me, he's dead, there's nothing, that was it. The doctor in the emergency room, he just blurted it out, like not caring. They just wanted to hurry up and get us out, that's it, you know, your son's dead, go ahead and go home. So I left, I went crazy. I lost my baby boy.
Did they tell you what the cause of death was?
No. Naturally I got suicidal. I cursed God out loud. Then I realized I was wrong. God didn't kill my son. It was man. Man killed my son. So I made my peace with God. And I turned all that anger and hatred into something else, something positive. And it took me 3 months to get his autopsy.
Really?
They didn't want to give it to me. Till finally I said, you know what, I'm tired of playing with both of y'all. I'm going to let my attorney get it. And magically I got a phone call, the autopsy's ready. So I went and picked it up, and I gave her a copy. She sent it to Dr. Peter McCullough, who looked it over, he verified it, and he did say it was due to the vaccine. His heart was over double the normal size that it should have been, and it was coated with some chemical from the vaccine. Dr. John Witcher from Mississippi also verified it when we were in LA. I mean, I have all these doctors that verify it. Still, it's not like it really is doing any good. I mean, now there's so many hundreds of children that are suffering the same thing. If they're not dying from myocarditis or heart issues, they're suffering now. They're on medication. They're not going to be able to overexert themselves. That means no baseball, no football, no nothing, because they could have a heart attack. Where is this actually safe? If you're still doing it to these children and you see the effects it's having, it's not doing any good. After my son passed, a friend of mine, her brother-in-law passed away from COVID, and they filed with FEMA, the funeral assistance, which they asked me to do the same thing. And I did, because I never thought I needed to get insurance for my son. I thought I was going to die first. And I had insurance on myself so I could make sure he was okay. So I filed with them. They asked me for all the paperwork. I gave them everything they asked for. They denied me, said he didn't die of COVID. I said, no, he died from the vaccine. They said, well, I'm sorry, we can't help you. I said, okay, don't worry about it. I'll figure it out on my own. So that's when I started traveling, all these different states, all these different events, interviews, podcasts. In December, FEMA calls me and asked me for more paperwork. I said, look, you have all of his paperwork. You denied me, so just destroy that application. She had me on hold, up and on hold for 45 minutes, and asked me to change my son's death certificate so that it read COVID, and they would help me financially. And I said, no, I will not disrespect my son in that way. And like I said, she kept back and forth. I don't know if she was talking to somebody else and kept asking me to change my son's death certificate. And I said, ma'am, I already told you, I will not disrespect my son in that way. I said, I will not falsify government documents for financial gain. I said, and I already told you, destroy that application and leave me alone. If you or anyone else that's listening in want more information on me or my son, I told him, you can Google my name and you'll find out exactly who we are. And she actually lowered her voice to a whisper and told me, I'm so sorry, Mr. Ramirez, and then she hung up. In January, they sent me an email asking me to log in, and there's paperwork they wanted to send me. I forwarded that email to everyone. Steve Kirsch, the millionaire, everyone, so to make sure they see what's going on. Just a couple of days ago, I get a phone call, and it's FEMA, and I started recording the call. They were calling me to get me to change the death certificate again. The first time they called me, they were offering me $10,000 to $35,000 if I changed it.
$35,000.
Yeah. But if I would have done anything like that, I could have probably got in trouble for falsifying documents. Or if I did change it to COVID, I wouldn't be able to continue telling my son's story, trying to bring awareness.
It sounds like what you're saying is that FEMA wanted you to commit fraud.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
What form did they want you to change? The actual application that you filled out?
No. That death certificate. They wanted me to change his death certificate so that it said COVID rather than myocarditis.
FEMA wanted you to
Yes.
alter and forge official government documents.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They don't want proof out there. And that's why I said every time I do an interview or I do anything, I always let people know that I am not suicidal. I have a job. I know if something happens to me, I'll be with my son. The good Lord takes me home, I'll be with my son.
How were the people at the FDA? Did they talk to you at all, really?
No. Nothing at all. Tried to contact Biden, no response. I emailed and called Governor Abbott, to this day with no response. I called the Texas State Department of Health. They passed me to 6 different people, and I ended up leaving my name and number on a voicemail, and they still haven't called me to this day. Everyone, they're just ignoring me. So be it. You're just giving me more proof that you're hiding something. They'll block me on Facebook all the time. Twitter knocked me off because the billboard that's going up about my son, saying it was gross and disturbing. I said, well, you have women up there half naked, but a picture of me standing by my son's coffin, I wasn't able to put that. The more you attack me, all you're doing is giving me more publicity. I love the hell out of my country, but I don't trust my government anymore.
Ernest, a lot of my people in TV, they are part of the problem.
Yeah,
They think that you're not real.
yeah, exactly.
They really don't. I will show them these things and they won't like it, they won't click, they won't look.
I've been told that I was a paid actor. Some gentleman told me, yeah, he's a paid actor from Breaking Bad. I said, you know what, I wish it was make-believe. I wish I wasn't going through what I'm actually going through.
So you set up a GoFundMe to cover...
My travel expenses to DC, and as soon as, I guess, people started donating, GoFundMe shut it down.
Did they give you the money?
No,
Did they refund the money?
I don't know. But they said my intentions went against all the regulations.
You paid out of pocket for his funeral expenses as well, right?
Yeah, so I had people donate to help me
Okay.
bury my son. And then I had a gentleman actually give me the plot. And I was not prepared for this. I was planning my death to set my son up so he had nothing to worry about if I was never around.
Did GoFundMe send you any like mail or paperwork?
No,
They just
shut it down right then and there.
so GoFundMe robbed the funds used to help preserve your son's memory.
Yes. In Canada, when they started a GoFundMe, I just started, oh my God, you're doing the wrong thing. And look what happened to them also about that. I mean, that's the worst fundraiser I wouldn't recommend to anyone. You see all the injuries, you see all the side effects. Well, the papers they release, with all the, thousands and thousands of side effects that vaccine has, why are you still pushing it on these children?
Why?
Why, I don't understand. Why don't you just give them some drugs and let them do drugs? Because you're killing them too with that vaccine. So-called vaccine, it's not a vaccine. We are the people that elected you and put you in that position. You're supposed to be there for us. I always taught my son to love God, to love his country, and be a man. And I figured, I always told me you had to stand up for yourself, be respected, and always protect somebody if they can't protect themselves. Then I figured if I don't do this, I could hear him tell me, Dad, you need to practice what you preach. So that's why I said I have to do this for my son's honor. Something inside me tells me, go to DC. So that's when we had the first roundtable with Senator Ron Johnson. We got the Pfizer vaccine because I thought it was to protect him. I thought it was the right thing to do. It was like playing Russian roulette. My government lied to me. They said it was safe. And that's where I met little Maddie, Steph, Bree, Amanda. I mean, so many people, so many injured victims. So I started pushing even harder now that I have like a second family. All my friends need assistance and our government's not helping them. This is not just something you hear on TV. This happened to me and I'm not gonna stay at home. I can stay at home crying, grieving, but I have to be out there. I have to fight. I have to do something about this because if I don't, who's gonna do it? I have nothing else to live for. He was a wonderful boy. He never one day gave me any trouble. I wish people would, open their eyes and not play Russian roulette with their children's lives. Just our job is to take care of our babies. Don't let them be a test, and it's not worth it.